The speedrunning community is one of gaming's most prevalent and beloved subsections of the entire medium. You see people spend countless hours attempting to put their heart and soul into beating a time that they missed by 0.1 seconds, all because I hit the rock the wrong way, darn it! Speedrunning is by and large one of the most commendable aspects of gaming as a whole medium. You are dedicating seemingly an endless amount of time to be able to master a game and all that it's about. To a point, becoming a speedrunner is a compliment to the game itself because you want to figure out the inner machinations of what it's about and how everything works, and I think that's huge to a lot of developers. You're wanting to learn everything about this game, but what does that entail to become a speedrunner? Repetition and a lot of patience, that's what. Depending on your amount of time, you could sink a lot of hours into a game just for the sake of wanting to get the time that you desire. No game series, I think, really encapsulates that better than Sonic the Hedgehog. From the very beginning, Sonic's games were literally built to replay, find the right path, and get the best time. So it makes sense that Sonic is a very avid speedrunning community. The thing is, I wanted to step up to the plate and see what it takes. I've played Sonic games for years, and for a few of the games, I've really taken my time to be as fast as possible. I wanted to earn my way into calling myself a Sonic speedrunner, and in order to do that, I wanted to put in the time to really make a mark. So I picked a Sonic game that I loved, which was the famous Sonic Project 06, and got to work. But not without my fair share of struggles. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shrugpod, and today I want to look at a beloved game and hop in as an amateur to see if speedrunning really is easy to get into. First off, I'm an amateur. I haven't been doing this for years, I'm just simply a guy. Secondly, I'm not out here trying to get a world record or anything. I'm just simply a guy. Anything that is said about my takes on speedrunning as a whole comes from my personal experience and personal research. I have nothing but respect for this community, but I'm a newbie, so I could always be wrong. A few months ago, I looked into this project and thought, where would you even start with this type of thing? And so I got to digging, and luckily, I had a great starting point. To not totally gush about this project and save that for another day, I and many others like Sonic P06, so I watch a lot of videos about it. Sue me. I then stumbled onto one of the world record holders, the Stelmo Show, and I liked his stuff a lot. So I found his email, reached out, and simply asked, "Hey bro, what do I do?" He insulted me, berated me, and made fun of my silly little hat I wear on stream. I'm just kidding, he was helpful and he's actually a really nice guy. I like Stelmo and approve of him. He sent me into the direction of just looking at some of his runs and then going from there. That was it. Nothing crazy, no studying up, just kind of following guides and going from there. Not only did I receive his blessing of just straight up just copying what he does in a lot of his runs, but I was just kind of nervous of what I was actually able to do. Because doing research on speedrunning, and it's sometimes insane to watch. People are out here no-clipping out of reality in some games, and there's sometimes I just dip my toes in the water too hard and I die. I honestly got this idea in my head that I don't think I'll be able to do it. The thing that I've seen debated online about speedrunning is the argument of sheer repetition versus skill. The only game I've ever really prided my skill in is Super Smash Bros., but I've truly got zero depth perception and zero hand-eye coordination. So I was nervous that I couldn't really do it. I'm not qualified to say if it's one or the other, but I also am a proponent that with enough practice, you can do anything. Believe to achieve. Don't let your dreams be dreams or something like that. Also, for a while, my only perception of speedrunning stemmed from those weird, awkward clips that you would just find on YouTube every once in a while.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
So here was the game plan. Take a singular level and just try to conquer it. There's no way I was going to go through all 3 stories in P06 with every level because I just don't believe in myself enough. I did not believe to achieve. So in a technical sense, I was doing an any % run on Sonic's Wave Ocean, Silver's Crisis City, and Shadow's Wide Acropolis, which were all of their first levels for their stories. I also have all the gems and upgrades for all characters because I just feel like I need them, and I like them a lot. So now let's get into the crazy bits. My first stream I started off with Sonic the Hedgehog, which seemed very easy at first. My first issue was that I was playing vanilla P06 with no mod loaders, so every time I lost all my lives, I'd get the restart screen. It's truly not a stream of mine unless something doesn't go as planned. I swear to you, I'm organized. Sonic's Wave Ocean is a great tutorial stage for speedrunners because you really learn a lot of Sonic's biggest skips. You're also forced to learn techniques like me, and by forced, I mean chat explaining how it worked to me, like the bounce cancel, which can essentially bring down Sonic's airtime and get him back back on the ground quicker. So right as you start the stage, the first big skip is this little bridge right here where you bounce cancel, activate your blue gem, then begin kicking, as well as holding forward and keeping your momentum. After just a few tries, I felt like a pro, until the rocks appeared. As my chat said, I had beef with these rocks right here, as after getting to this bridge, you're supposed to go around, use the blue gem again, and boost yourself to the smaller island. That is easier said than done. On multiple occasions, I'd hit the invisible wall and I'd get to this little spot right here, chat would laugh at me, and then sometimes I'd get to this little island, but get too hasty and go right back into the water and die. Then chat would laugh at me. The best time, man. So on a good run, if you make it to this little island where this energy box is, we get to one of the biggest challenges that I had during my live stream. When you get to this box, the trick that you're supposed to pull off for this particular skip is a frame perfect move. Use the blue gem. If you haven't picked up on it, this blue gem will change your entire life for the speedrun. To hop over this invisible wall, jump, homing attack forward, then do a perfect input of bounce and forward homing attack to hit this box here. Needless to say, I missed this a lot, and chat let me be very well aware of my flaws. Time and time again, I kept dying until... I'm gonna give it this end of life, and then if we just can't pull this trick off, we're just gonna skip it. We're not going for a world record or anything. We're just gonna see, like... We're just gonna figure it out. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I did it! Ah! What? No way! We did it! Man, that was cathartic. This is a nice time to mention that the help of my wonderful chat, who were just the sweetest. The sweetest of all was a user named Gamosaur, who helped me by specifically explaining certain moves and helping me with pathing. He was a harsh teacher, but he helped me to be the very best speedrunner. My respect for Master Gamosaur stands tall to this day. Once you pull that off, this little island easily gets passed by with the blue gem jump, proceeding through the stage through this route, threading the needle right here with a little bonk to this badnik, quickly making to the springs and skipping a couple more springs with another blue gem jump. This will take you to a little automated section where you run on this bridge, fear ocean life, then go on to our next character, Tails. One of the fun parts of the original 06 is that you would swap between other characters for short sections in the levels and get to play with them. As long as it wasn't Knuckles, they were pretty fun to play. In Wave Ocean, the latter bit before the Mach Speed section has Tails. You know what the best part of this skip is? You literally just fly off of this roof, hit this rock, then fly to the button. This little part with Tails conceptually lasts as long as these last couple of sentences. Finally, we're at the big part of the Mach Speed section. Very simple pathing of skipping launch pads and boosting with rings until you get to this robot, bonk his head, and skip all of this automation, and then the level is finished. Now, I wasn't able to pull off this bonk and hop on stream, but conceptually speaking, that's what you gotta do. So we wrap up Sonic, then head to our favorite rival, Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow's Wide Acropolis is a tad bit harder and to me was the hardest run in this little experiment. You start out with this little trick right out the gate where you dash forward and use Chaos Spear and the forward dash ever so precisely to essentially get a double dash forward, spin dashing past these bots, over this gate, then down the hill and skipping the dash pads. A very intense little 15 seconds. Following that, Sensei Gamosaur taught me spam dashing through the snowfields, hitting this conveniently placed button, then doing the big spin kick to the second section. This is when Rouge takes over, and I would say that she's difficult, but I'd be lying. You fly, quickly climb, then do a slope jump, and you're pretty much done. Shrug Pod, I bet you're asking, when does it get hard? The thing is, this section is the calm before the storm. While you can surely just fly over everything, I wish you could do that in the final portion. So after making a comment where Shadow discusses being sent by the place current president here, you have to bonk off these robots and fight our newest enemies. The lights. No goal ring, just destroying these lights. On paper, you're supposed to jump on this light, Chaos Spear this light, then jump to the third and fourth, then hit this rock and destroy the final light. I kinda did that. After some modifications, because this second light is a nightmare to hit, these lights are hard to balance on, and for some reason, I just can't fly off of this rock. I'm beefing with the rocks. You can't do it in real life either, so I guess life is full of disappointments. I was able to scrape by with a time that I was content with, but no, I could have done better. This level was intense and full of harder texts that have been a bit more precise. Outside of Rouge's very quick section, Shadow proved to be a little bit more difficult due to mechanics. Maybe it was just this stage, but it gave me a hard time. But maybe our final character will have less issues as we tackle Silver the Hedgehog. Silver and Blaze landed in Crisis City, and before us, we held our great prospect. The only problem is I didn't have all of Silver's upgrades on this save. Then we proceed to S rank 2 of silver stages, finally getting the upgrade, and then we can start. Beginning silver stage, we gotta bonk off these fire rats, wait and fly over to the massive fallen building, activate the Sigil of Awakening, then boost over and do a massive skip. Bonk again, get the timing right on these floating platforms, have fun with the camera angles, then boost over to end this first section. This part is fun, and it only gets more fun. Blaze is, in all reality, the most fun character to play in this entire game. As soon as you start out, you instantly dive off the side and take this massive loop straight to torpedoing through the air into this building. It's harder than you think. Once you pull off that massive skip, you go through this fun bit of busting windows, flying through the air, and finishing Blaze's section. Her small portion of the stage becomes even smaller with these speedrun skips. But wow, it's so fun! Silver's last section is no more than just a few air boosts and then the goal ring. Very simple, very clean, and such a fun time. Silver's level was definitely the best time I've had out of all three of the hedgehogs, which is crazy because the original 06 Silver would make you want to get a catheter. So I'm just as much in shock as you are. But now that I've become used to these runs, what have I learned? To me, I've come to one major conclusion to speedrunning. This stuff is supposed to be fun. I get why people do it so much because perfecting your craft is fun. Now, does everyone want to be #1 in the world and that's why they speedrun? No, not necessarily. I don't believe to have speedrunning down to a science, but I just think that speedrunning is tough and gets easier in time, and that's when it gets fun. I say all of this as someone who just started to learn, and now I'm just trying to get a time that I'm content with. Hi, EditorPod here. All of these paths could always be customized and changed over time, and so one thing that works one week could change the next, and that's kind of the nature of speedruns, so this may be outdated in the next year or two, who knows. With each stream lasting about 2 to 3 hours, and some having less time dedicated to these stages, I ended up with good times. With Sonic, I got a 2:32, I got a 2:11 with Shadow, and just breaking under 2 minutes with 1 minute and 58 seconds on Silver. Teacher Gamosaur even told me that I beat his record, and it made me feel like a student becoming the master. Speedrunning just becomes fun at the end of the day. And yeah, it feels easy to get into. Maybe that's different depending on the game, but like I said, Sonic games were literally built for this type of thing. This conversation may look different if you're looking at Halo or Zelda, but this game seemingly sets a great example for getting into a prestigious aspect of gaming. In my eyes, if you're just trying to get better at finishing a game quicker, then you are in fact a speedrunner in the broadest sense of the word. Now, will I catch flack for this video? Yeah, probably at some point. I'm wrong a lot. But I really do think that the only separation between something like speedrunning and then complaining about the original Sonic 06 is just the amount of time that you're willing to commit to it. And yeah, I've repeated that a lot throughout this video. It's kind of like repetition's a big part of speedrunning or something. I also just kind of wanted to use this as an excuse to talk about Project 06 other than just how much I enjoy it, because I do enjoy it. Big thanks to Stelmo for starting me in the right direction. This guy was so nice of helping me and just literally saying, hey bro, just use my stuff, and just pointing me in the right direction. And also thanks to my wonderful chat, especially Gamosaur, who is an absolute G for helping me out in a lot of these big skips that I needed to learn how to do, and a lot of these techniques that I just wasn't able to find online for some reason. Maybe one day we will all learn to hit the rock in just the right way for the perfect rock skip.